All righty. Hey, everybody.
This is not our music, but we love listening to it.
We do.
We don't own the rights to it, but we enjoy listening to it.
Let's see. What's going on, everybody? So we're going to get started in just a second. Well, over here messing with his phone. So there we go. We can see our guests in the background. So thumbs up to you guys. Thumbs up to me. Yes. Great. Hey, everybody. What's going on? Good to see you guys. As you can see, this is a show that is designed for real people who want answers to marriage and
real life
single,
challenges,
losing a spouse, children, and dating. Join us for the conversation. It's every Monday at this time, Eastern Standard Time. And so, welcome everybody. I'm going to stop this scroll from happening. And so, how was y'all's week? Love and kindness is always in season. Isn't that the truth?
Yep.
So, how was y'all's week, babe?
Busy, as usual.
You was busy?
Yeah.
Well, what you did?
I don't know.
Okay.
Well,
we started. I have a niece that's from Houston. She's from Fort Worth, but she lives in Houston. She's a flight attendant, but she was in town. She's a social media influencer. So Keisha came into town. She stayed with us for a day, and then my other niece came in. She came up to my job, and we went to. They had a Black History vendor fair at my job, and so my girlfriend Rashana, who's on here sometimes, she was representing her brand. I don't know, y'all can't really see this. Oh, that showed up really good. It says Susu's Lemonade, strawberry lemonade. So this is my sponsor for today. We're sponsoring Susu's. This one is frozen. Susu's, this is frozen. I just took it out the freezer. Susu's, and I can't drink it all at once because I'm not a really big juice drinker, but I do like it. It just is
sweet,
a little sweet. But Susu's,
it is good.
Strawberry lemonade, it is good. So I thought I'd show the audience that just make some fun out of us going to start doing these little branding. And so then Farrah, our other niece, came in on Thursday with little Austin and little Travis. Austin is 3. Little Austin, my nephew, or got grandbaby. Okay. And then Travis, who's 1 and some. Look here, you guys, I done looked up my whole calendar, got markings all over it. We got my decorative balls, they in the floor. We got cotton balls in the floor. We got everything. So jumping in the bed, our bed, and doing the most. And so
following me around the house.
And then we entertained them for this weekend, and then Farrah left on Sunday. I had to take her to the airport.
I got back in town the first of the week. From Mississippi. And so we're trying to get our legs out of us. And Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all those days just kind of went together.
All the days. So welcome everybody.
But wait a minute, you left off of the thing. Saturday night, we went on a date.
Ooh, yeah, we did.
And we saw The Color Purple live at Tri-City High School. Absolutely amazing.
It was good.
I mean, the quality of acting, singing, the music. I mean, that was on point.
Yeah, those young people did some good work.
They did so good. I was so proud of the acting in the movie and the young kids, and it was a lot of them, especially young men too. I had tears in my eyes about 5 minutes left, and I was wiping my eyes. I said, "Man, all those strong men, Darlene, to my
I know you're not.
It's just a play. It's just a play." And then looked over there about 2 minutes later. She wiped her eyes.
It was touching. You know, they did the back end of the play. They did the latest, The Color Purple 2, with the song, the Fantasia sang. And I'm telling you, it was moving. You know, you have to have kids that and people that sing when they have a passion for what they're singing. No matter, in this case, they really did sound good. So I meant to send the principal an email just letting him know how proud I was of the students. They were all in high school, but it was certainly well worth
the
our time.
costumes, the stage presence, everything. They had it all.
Yeah. And so my friend who I'm sponsoring, Sue Strawberry Lemonade today, she told us about it. They always have an annual. So if you're in the Atlanta area, and you may want to go to the Tri-Cities Facebook page and follow them, because every year they have this big production. Yeah. That was a very good production. So look, we've got some folks on we normally see. We're going to shout out Gwen and Yvonne Holmes, Norma, Miss Norma, Gwen, okay, Eric Hines, Darian Taylor. Hey there, Miss Tyler, I meant, and Doc Layton.
Hello, Doc,
hanging out with us
friend
too. And so, well, baby, look, we started last week.
Okay.
We threw in a special guest at the last minute, which is Tyrone Turner, and we wanted to invite him and his.
He broke out some good wisdom.
It is, yes, great wisdom. So we're gonna stop talking because we know that you all would love to hear a love story from the challenges of being married.
Right.
He's been married before. We got to talk to Sandra too, but been married before, met each other, found love again. So that's what the title of today is: The Courage to Love Again.
Courage to Love Again.
So I'm going to
it takes courage.
It does take some courage. Because Fuller was asking me, are you going to say yes if I ask you to marry me? And I was like, yeah, but you ain't going to do nothing. And then he pops the question.
Hey, Bishop Turner, Pastor Dollar was there, and Taffy, and I had some of my vital friends there.
While you're talking to him.
And I wasn't gonna get down on my knees and then say ask her. She said no. All my siblings were there. Sandy, I wasn't gonna be embarrassed. You got to let me go front.
He's like, you gonna tell me before I pop to say anything? And I was like, you ain't gonna do nothing.
I don't want to have a million people follow me on Reels because of my embarrassment.
Right, yeah. They're gonna do it. They're gonna talk about you. They want to talk about you. So we are so excited to have you both with us today. And so we're going to get started. Well, won't we start out with you guys introducing yourselves? Let's start there.
Okay, I'm Tyrone Turner, pastor, Kingdom Living Church, by vocation, general contractor, and I've been doing it for 30 years, been pastoring for about, actually 19 years now. We'll fix to celebrate the 20th year this July.
Wow.
Okay.
By pastor founder of the church. So certainly excited about that this year.
Good.
Okay.
Yep. And I'm Cassandra. Most people call me Sandy Turner now. So we struggle. I ain't gonna say we struggle, but it's a challenge sometimes because everybody wants to call me Sandy Bass still, which was my name prior to getting married. And he raises up quick. He's like, wait a minute now, it's Turner now, and she's not a Bass anymore. But I'm Sandy, and by vocation, I am a systems analyst. And I work from home for PepsiCo, and I am now First Lady at Kingdom Living Church. I'm a mother. So not only the courage to love again, as we're going to get into that, I'm sure, but blended families in that arena is definitely a challenge as well. So we're just over a year in, and we're pushing through.
So y'all give Sandy and Bishop Turner some love, some hearts, some Thanksgiving, some prayers from all of that.
Absolutely.
All of the above.
Hey Turner, I go on the League of Shield trips with Darlene, and they be calling her Miss Quincy.
All right.
So I said, hello, hey y'all.
And she just speaking. I tell them, I say, they say, but I'm sorry, because they said, I don't know your last name, or they apologize. I said, oh no, I don't have no problem with that. That's a professional name,
right?
But when she come home, she Mrs. Fuller. So y'all call her whatever y'all want to call her. Yes, but when she come home, she Mrs. Fuller. And I call her by last initial, the late husband. I call her Q. So that's my nickname for her. I call her Q all the time.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So we are so excited because y'all got a lot to unpack. So Sandy, since you brought it up, So how many kids do you each have?
2 each. I have a son and a daughter, and then he has 2 daughters.
And the ages?
So my son's 31, and
What?
my
You're gonna look older than that.
and my daughter will be 21 in April.
Okay, wow. And Bishop Turner?
And my baby girl is 25, and my oldest daughter is 27.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. So I got some questions now. You talking about 3 girls.
Absolutely.
How did they adjust to you got okay, before I ask that question, remind me, put a pin in that one.
Okay.
Sandy, were you married before?
I was, yes.
Okay, so both of you guys were married before.
Yeah. I think the difference for us though was my divorce was I had been divorced probably 11 or 12 years. So and had no desire to get remarried. I was like, I'm not doing this again. I'm done. Single parent it is. I'm good on my own. I don't need anything else. But God quickly turned that around and showed me something different. So but yeah, I was convinced that marriage, I was done with marriage. Yeah.
Okay. And then but then you met the bishop.
Well, here's the thing about the bishop.
Behind the stage.
So he's probably gonna punch me in a minute and say, "Shut up, you're telling too much."
I'm good.
But no, so we've known each other for a really long time. So we grew up in school together.
Second grade.
We were we go way back to second grade. Will you be my girlfriend? Will you be my boyfriend? Check the box, yes or no. So we were boyfriend girlfriend for a long, right up until high school actually, and we broke up. So we kind of went our separate ways from there, and then reconnected a few years ago.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, and so Turner. I call everybody by their last name. So then how did you guys end up meeting? Because Fuller knows you from ministry.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But also, I know Bishop Turner said that he just kind of glanced over that he builds houses. Y'all, he don't just build houses. We should have had him build our house. Look here. Churches. He builds some. I mean, we went over to their house.
He's a contractor you can trust.
Look, Sandy was working, and this house was so massive, baby. We didn't even know what part of the house Sandy was in. She was working in her own office somewhere in the house. And it was amazing. Yeah. But
we was at your place and we saw you had an outdoor TV and we got us one.
Yeah.
All right,
good.
With a fireplace and the whole nine.
Yeah, I went and bought the cover to the TV based on your recommendation. And I'm telling you, they got an amazing property that Bishop Turner built. So Bishop Turner, so tell us about how you ended up reconnecting and now having been married the first time, now finding love again.
Yeah, had some challenges towards the end in my first marriage, but it was not all bad. So I want to paint that picture. I got married at 21 years old.
Wow.
I think I was where we were just turning 21 and just fresh out of high school. So I didn't have direction, guidance. All I knew is it's time to get married, and so there was a lot of stuff going on as the process went, with me within myself that I had to deal with. But we were able to kind of stay in the game until our kids got older. They were out of college. And it just kind of shifted my and I'll be honest, my thought process and what I wanted shifted. I can't. So but then Sandy was there, and we've known each other for a long time, and we had to come through a lot of hurdles. Let me just say that, a lot of hurdles, a lot of ups and downs. Of course, I had a chance to talk with Bishop and he knows a lot of the story, but however, it was not easy to get to this place of getting remarried again, because it's a scary place, but it's a really scary place when you've been with somebody for a long time and then you're getting remarried. Now you got to learn that person all over again, their ways, their thoughts, what they like, what they don't like, and you have to adjust yourself to that person, and that is not easy for anybody. But however, through me deciding that I needed counseling because I needed to be the better version of me, and making that decision, and I'll be honest, had one foot in, one foot out, even with a relationship before I got married again, because I wanted to know where she was and she wanted to know where I was, and so it was just back and forth. But when we went through counseling together, and it really opened up doors, and I had to come to myself to say, okay, this is what I want.
So I'll piggyback on that and say, when we reconnected, we reconnected as friends. I was having some challenges with my son at the time, and so he was mentoring my son and helping guide through that process. So again, there was like I'm still at the place of I'm not getting married. I'm not in love. I'm not falling in love, have no desire to be in a relationship at that point. And it just kind of evolved from that perspective. And he talks about 1 foot in and 1 foot out because he wanted to know where I was. Well, I was standing flat footed on, I don't want to be in no relationship.
That's true.
Isn't that different? Because most of the time it's the woman wanting to get remarried.
Right.
Yeah. So, and you mean pastors need to have counseling?
Absolutely.
Oh my God, yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'll be honest, I think you need to have counseling from a spiritual, but the clinical part.
Right.
Dealing with the mental side of who you are.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, even though you understand the word, we're still human. And we're subject to error as anybody else. But I think that as a man, when we get to the point where we're tired of being tired and we want to be better, then we have to pursue better. And better doesn't come by, Lord, help me change, help me change. Better comes by identifying problems that you have and then be willing to deal with the problem within yourself. And then you take the word of God and you mix that together. And with the help of that by faith, then you can move forward and then be held accountable. Whenever you make the decision to say, this is what I'm not going to do, be held accountable for that. And I found out most men that are my age, they don't want to be held accountable of that, because it's like, it's scary. I'm stepping off into some strange territory and I'm who I am. So if you don't like me, but it doesn't work like that in a relationship.
Right. That's right.
Yeah,
that's absolutely right. And my advice is to definitely seek professional counseling. We do counseling at World Change, but we don't call ourselves counselors. We call it Christian advisors. Right. So we give us Christian advice, but then sometime, like yesterday, I was counseling somebody after church. I was counseling somebody after church. And after about 30 minutes, I told Sheila, come here, get them. They need help. They need professional help. Get them out. Get them out. Get them out. And look, we need counseling from counseling people.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And by you being a pastor and so used to being in charge, I can see it's hard to submit to Sandy or to any woman, because we're so used to being in control to what we don't want to release the control, not only control of things and what we have going on, but we don't like to lose control of our feelings and ourselves. And that's what I told Darlene. I said, you got to tell me something because I'm losing control. I keep falling for you and it's falling deeper. And I don't want to be hurt. I was afraid of being hurt.
Right.
Because, my wife passed, so I was afraid of being hurt again. And that was just like somebody else passing in my life.
Yeah. I got a question for you. So, because Sandy answered this without me asking. So she mentioned that she had been divorced about 10, 11 years before you guys decided to get married or reconnect. Mm-hmm. What was the amount of time, Turner, that you were divorced and then you decided, you know what, I may be interested in a new relationship? Because that's important, because I remember when I got married for the first time, what I didn't know is, because I was so caught up in the mix, I was caught up in the idea of falling in love, I didn't count the months that he had told me that he had been divorced. In fact, I think he had only been divorced, I'm going to say, let's say 10 months. Mm-hmm. And in my mind, it sounded like 10 years because I was trying to resolve it, that it was okay. And it probably was okay, but we were now talking about he had just gotten out of a marriage and now trying to build another relationship. And I don't know if that was too quick or not, you know. And so what was the time frame? And even if it was a short time frame, what advice?
Well, I don't think it's necessarily about a time frame. It's about you willing to heal.
Yeah.
You're willing to understand who you are and getting down that road fast. Some people, and it was easy to care about Sandy because she always showed concern. Yes. And that helped. That helped. Now, again, and I'll be honest, I still had 1 foot in and 1 foot out. I want to be real with you, because that's the only way people are gonna know as a man. And if I can be perfectly honest with you, and Sandy knows this, I knew who she was from high school, but I didn't know who she was totally was as I reconnected.
Right.
So that was a part I needed to figure out. And that's that part I didn't want to get hurt on. I had to figure this thing out. I had to, so I had 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So if she goes left in the other direction, I'm saying, oh, I ain't going that way. I'm coming back to where I'm at, where my safe zone is.
Yeah. Right.
And be honest, there was somebody else that I was considering. So this total transparency. But that's where I had to come to the understanding, what did Tyrone want?
Yeah.
Right.
Because what I didn't want to do is bring any more hurt to a relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's where most men think they can just kind of skirt by that, but you can't skirt by that. Either you deal with it or you're going to bring it into the new relationship.
Yeah, because you suffer some trauma. You suffer trauma.
Absolutely.
What's that called, a military term? Pete, what that military term when they've been to war?
Yeah, PTSD.
Yeah,
Right.
PTSD. Right, Sammy. You right on, Sammy.
Well, she's ex-Marine.
Okay, all right. You know her. But,
right.
But because you shared that with me, you know, about considering another lady.
That's right.
And we shared, that's one of the things I counsel you about.
That's right.
On my question, you got to know for sure what you want, and don't do nothing if you don't know, if you're not sure. Because you'll just be messing up 2 lives all over again.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. And that is the part that I didn't want to enter into, because that is some hurting stuff there. If you would have told me emotions don't hurt, I would have, back in the days, I would have said, man, just keep it going and keep moving. But it's a real thing. And it takes a lot to heal from it. And so I would advise any man that is trying to go into a new relationship, deal with what you got on the outside. Make sure that it's closed, the door, the gate, whatever it is, lock it down, weld it, whatever you got to do, deal with it. Because if you don't deal with it, it will resonate back up at some point.
Yeah. So I got a question for you. So, man, look how the time just keeps going. Yeah. So, so what communication habits are non-negotiable for you guys now that y'all have been both married? Communication, I know, is probably one of the number one things that happens in relationships besides finances. What's your non-negotiable now as far as communication?
You go.
Oh, I go. So I think part of it is just having that open, honest conversation from a communication standpoint, and not necessarily, you know, I'm the type person that historically, because I've been by myself for so long, but prior to this, it's like, I'm going to do what I'm going to do when I'm going to do it without asking, or not necessarily asking, but communicating. Right. So just having to learn to have that open communication with somebody, and to be able to just say, hey, this is what I'm going to do. He says, because I travel a lot too with work. And he's like, you didn't send me your itinerary. And I was like, oh, I forgot. You know, I'm like, okay, here's my itinerary. So just, you know, just being open to have that type of communication and learning how to communicate has been a challenge for me, I would say. But we're working on that. So we're talking, and I feel like though that the conversations, and not being afraid to have those conversations either, those open conversations, because sometimes we as women we'll hold things back, we'll see things but we don't say things, and that's not healthy either. So I've had to learn to say, okay, if I'm seeing something, I'm going to have to call it out and let's talk about it, not accusing or not being accusatory, but just having a conversation. Hey, this is how this is making me feel. What's going on? And being able to have that conversation, that communication has really evolved in our marriage.
Good. What about you, Turner?
Yeah, I as I shared last week, I think the best thing that I could have ever done was had a conversation with you, Bishop, about Life 360 and being able to be transparent in my whereabouts and where I'm going. I'm always working at this point, I'm working but that was good for us because it gave her an assurance that, hey, I'm where I'm say I'm going to be. And so it was not a lot of, I didn't have to communicate that part of it, but I will say this, that sometimes it's the small things that for instance, one of my things I always like to do is I'm gonna take out the trash. If I see it, I'm going. I mean, that's some men will just leave it. But I'm on the trash. I'm the trash man. I'm on the trash.
Absolutely.
But there are certain things that matter of fact, it came up this weekend. We were in Atlanta looking for a door for our new house that we're building. We sold the last one. So, we're building new. Yeah. So
and we had the grandbaby too, so we were busy. We had our hands
right. So one of the things that I've got to do a better job in is and Sandy reminds me of this, but trusting her when it comes to traffic.
You driving, the Turner, one of y'all driving for each other?
Well, I'm driving, she's on the other side, and you know how sometimes you got two drivers in the car.
No, I'm the navigator. So let's just be real. My background is in logistics. So I naturally I'm like, well, this is the way we need to go. And this is where, and I'm a planner, and that drives him crazy because he flies by the seat of his pants, and that drives me crazy. So we try to balance each other out. I wasn't trying to, he says I have a takeover spirit too.
Hey, no, let me tell you what to do, Turner.
Yes,
stop
sir.
that argument. I'm going to stop because we just had that recently too.
Okay.
That's how we got on this subject about 2 weeks ago. What I did was I went to the dealership and I had a steering wheel put on the glove compartment.
Okay.
So
that's a good thing.
Oh my goodness.
What you do is go back to the dealer. They got some up there. They got them in stock because they sell a lot of them, so they keep them in stock.
Oh, I sure need one because I be trying to take over.
I think that's just a woman's nature. I just believe it. I think that if you got she has an A-type personality, everything's got to be from a detailed perspective. I get it.
Right.
It was like you guys were talking last week. If I'm going somewhere, I'm going to get down the road and go and do what I got to do. I don't have to do a whole lot of pre-planning where I'm going to go at and what I'm going to do. Now there are certain things that I have to plan for, but there's things that, it's already in my mind. I know where I'm going. I know the direction that I'm going at. And I think that kind of maybe sometimes drives her up the wall sometime. But however, I'm going to get there and I'm going to execute. And she knows I'm an executor. So that's where we're at with that.
She's trying to make you execute it faster and better and safer.
More efficiently.
Okay.
More organized.
Yes.
I'm more like you. I'm like, okay, my mind is made up. I'm used to going this way. I've been going this way 10 years and I'm going to go this way. But she want to use waves and everything else.
Waves.
And so we don't agree.
Yes. So I got another question for you guys.
Okay.
Because this, I don't know if this has really come up in our marriage, but we talk about stuff that's uncomfortable to get it out in the open. So how do you avoid, not that you have, comparing Sandy or Turner to the former spouse, if at all?
No, I don't do that. That has come up for me at all that I can recall.
Yeah.
There's no comparisons from that perspective. I try to let her be who she is, and she allowed me to be who I am, and then we just flow. So I can't recall that coming up.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, neither have we. And my ex-husband and I have a really good relationship. That's one of the things that was challenging for him to begin with. We were good friends. We co-parented well. We talked a lot. And so he was struggling with that, because that's not something that men kind of deal with. Like, why is this man calling you about his business? Like, well, because that's the kind of relationship we had. So we had to kind of navigate. I got it. So we had to navigate that. But there was no comparison between the two or anything like that. I don't think we've ever had that as a challenge.
No, that we never had that.
And that's why I was going to bring this up before the last statement. That's why trust is so vital in a relationship.
Yes.
You have to learn how to trust.
Right.
Yes.
And that is one of the most vital things, not because if not, it's going to create earthquake.
Yeah. And I think, Bishop, that's a great point, because we, like you said, we struggled a little bit early on based on the fact that this whole not 100% in, and he was dealing with someone else. So trust, once that came to the head, I guess you would say, where there was some transparency that had to happen around that situation, then there was some trust opportunities that we had to work through. And I'll be honest, it took a lot of prayer and a lot of counseling. But trust is something that we definitely were challenged with very early on in our relationship prior to getting married. But
and I say this, that you got to want to change. You got to want to change. If you don't want to change, and you got to be willing to put in the work to be able to do it, because it's hard as people that are our age now. When you're set in your ways, it's very difficult to make changes and be true to yourself. That's the thing.
Yeah, I can see Sammy having a challenge with that, because she was single so long and Darlene same way. She had been with her for 9 years.
About 11 years. Yeah.
About 11 years.
Yeah. But so look, you guys, I know it's at the bottom of the hour, so it's 6:30, right? So, but I heard Sandy say there's a lot to unpack as it relates to, because we're not going to let it go on the children, the blended family.
Next week.
And how you navigated through that. Because look, you guys, we are all in the same sort of age bracket. We're past the, I don't know, Sandy, I don't know what your age is, but past the century mark of this is my life. And I don't plan on getting married no more unless something major happens and God decides, whatever. But that's not going to be the plan. And so we're tired of the drama. But we do still have challenges with, not challenges, but we got grown kids, teenage children, and that is some work.
Yes.
And so even at our age now, how do you deal with the been previously married, blended families? Sandy, you talked about trust. We kind of talked at some high level things, and I really want to dig into it, but we don't have enough time to talk about it tonight. So we're going to ask publicly
for you to be our guest
next week and come on back if you guys have the time.
I'm out of town next week. I'm in Tampa next week, but
she's in Tampa.
Can you do it from out of town?
I can. That's what I was about to say. I can dial in. We can dial in separately if we.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So we can have the same link, and we'll start. Just with the conversation about blended families, and then some other things. One of the questions I was going to ask you is, what boundaries help protect kind of your current marriage? I mean, we talked about some boundaries, but there's a whole lot of different conversations, especially people that are on that have been married before, like my friend Antonio Harrison, who's on here. He was married before, got remarried very recently. And so there's a lot that people that are now newly married, they may experience, because even just because you've been married the second time doesn't mean that you haven't experienced some
Right.
things that have come up early, even on
Absolutely.
the first few months.
Mhm.
being married. So we want to talk about, just a number of things, but I really want to talk about that blended family. And then you guys have girls too. And what they said, and were they encouraging to get remarried, or were they pushing back? All of that. There's a lot to talk about. And so, but before we leave, is there anything based on what we've talked about tonight that you would like to leave the audience with, just to encourage single people? Because I know you guys are pastors.
Yeah.
You probably counsel people in their own marriages, but just the takeaway for today. What are the lessons learned, from your own experience of, getting reunited with the love of your life, or love the second time?
I would say the one takeaway, or the one thing to remember, that even in your marriage, you're still a person. So being one with yourself and understanding who you are individually helps you be a better person in your marriage. So, and then not being so quick to give up and walk away, because sometimes we can be that way. So those are the two things that I would want people to take away from this, is just understanding who you are individually, and then what you are collectively is probably the biggest piece.
Yeah, I'm gonna just echo at least the last part of that. You don't have to lose yourself in marriage. What you normally would do to make your life better, or that you enjoyed, and I think you should do that, but make sure that is communicated on both sides, because sometimes you can enter into a marriage where you feel like you lose yourself, and I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. And it's like, what have I done? But we actually fellowship good together with our friends, whether it's going to a Falcons game, whether it's, having some events that we've said we were going to kind of align with, riding our bikes. We're bikers. I jump on my Harley, she jumps on hers, but I think not losing yourself and then enjoying yourself and enjoying life. And I see you all going to the games, and I mean that's cool. That's and actually you're going to see different things in the community, the culture, and yes, I love that. And so I say live to the fullest. And I'll close with this. We rode our bikes to Savannah. And a couple came out of a lady came out of the mall, and she said, I always wanted to do this with my husband. We were going to do this, but he passed. So I'm saying whatever you feel like that you need to do to help you be fulfilled and enjoy life, because you'll live a little bit longer, is to do what you do best, but communicate, this is what I'm going to do, or this is what we're doing together. So that's my takeaway.
That's good.
Okay.
That's good.
That's good.
Oh, look at there. Look, you see that, got some love. So you guys, look, the topic is the courage to love again. And so many people are on here that have lost a spouse, that are, single, looking for love again, and they just need to hear a good word. And so thank you, Turners, for joining us.
Absolutely.
I had such a great time visiting with Sandy when we had our KFM event.
I enjoyed that.
It was so powerful, you guys. So if you're on here and you're listening, you don't have a pastor. If you're a pastor, you don't have a mentor. It's so important that you not only do that, get a mentor, but also just, these sessions here, we talk about everything, don't we?
Yeah.
That was a great event. And so thank you. I'm so glad, Sandy, that you were a part of that, so we could get to know you better. And thank you for taking the time out, because I know you're a busy woman. Right. In turn, I know you're busy too. I'm just talking shit.
But I hope we're gonna have that grand reunion again. I love that. I hope that's on our agenda for this year.
It is. All right.
KFM.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, it's on. We already put the date on.
Yeah, we got September.
We already got the date.
Okay. We're there.
So part 2 next week. So
we probably need some reminder to everybody again, because it's on. We got a date.
Yeah. So we got the date. But you got a song you're gonna close us out with? And we always do something where we're got to dance it out. This is our theme song. This is how we do it. We're dancing. Y'all got to dance too. And then we always do it. Got to kiss y'all.
Yes.
This is for y'all to do with small kids. Let's show them.
All right.
This is how we do it. See you guys next week.
All right. See ya. Thanks
All right.
for
Take
having
care.
You guys. Y'all take care. See you, everybody.
Thank you.